This quantum satellite could erase the concept of privacy, and no one is ready. The satellite that promises total privacy and could also destroy it. A Chinese satellite weighing barely 23 kilograms has just done something that could turn everything you believe about digital security into a bad joke. This small device, called Mozi, not only managed to transmit quantum keys across nearly 13,000 kilometers, but also opened the door to a new form of control, surveillance, and yes, also mass paranoia. While you think you're browsing calmly on your phone, someone somewhere is already testing this technology, and not to protect you. Welcome to Mind Blown Space, the only place where we tell you what's really happening up there, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Subscribe if you want to keep discovering how the future is crashing down on us without asking for permission. Mozi is not a normal satellite. It's the most sophisticated quantum toy on the planet. Its specialty? Distributing quantum keys, the kind that supposedly nobody can intercept without you noticing. Sounds great, right? Until you remember that whoever controls the keys controls the gateways to your secrets. And surprise, it's not you. The key to all this is quantum physics. Remember that whole thing about an electron being in two places at once? Well, it turns out that when you combine that with a key distribution system, the result is a kind of invisible alarm. If someone tries to spy, the system detects it. But it doesn't do it by sounding a siren. It just subtly changes the information. Subtly and irreversibly. And who pulled off this feat? China. With its Mozi satellite, they managed to send entangled particles from Beijing to South Africa. Not emails, not messages, not memes, just keys. But keys that could unlock anything, from bank accounts to a country's defense systems. And this is not a lab test. It already happened. They announced it on the 19th of March, 2025. The promise is that now no one will be able to steal your information. But what if the one who has control of the keys isn't you, but someone else? What if this system that seemed like the solution turns into the ultimate lock, without you holding the key? Because, of course, nobody ever said the quantum revolution was going to be democratic. When quantum doesn't protect, the double-edged weapon no one wants to look at. Imagine that at last there exists a system that makes it impossible for your messages to be intercepted. Perfect, right? Now, imagine that the same system can be used to stop you from sending those messages if someone decides to look too closely. Welcome to the bureaucratic nightmare of the future, when your privacy depends on nobody watching, literally. Yes, the trick of this quantum marvel is that if someone intercepts the key, it gets detected. But the system doesn't move forward. It simply won't let you use that key. Great for paranoids, a disaster for people who want to communicate urgently. Because in this new model, if a hacker decides to look, even without understanding anything, just by looking, they can already sabotage the whole operation. It's like your mail self-destructing just because someone walked past the mailbox. And here's the best part, that someone could be anyone with access to the satellite's orbit. A state actor, a clandestine group, or why not, a bored teenager with access to an improvised quantum telescope in their garage. The system detects the observation, yes, but it doesn't prevent it from happening. The only thing it achieves is blocking the transmission. Result? A multi-million-dollar satellite turned into a galactic paperweight. This is known as a quantum denial attack. Yes, that's the technical name. In practice, it means you can sabotage an entire system simply by looking. Wasn't quantum supposed to protect us? Well, it seems it also works to cancel the entire system if someone gets curious. And you don't need to break the encryption, or understand the content, or hack the message. All you need to do is interrupt the photon's path. And that's it. Discarded key. Blocked message. How many times do you need to do that to make an entire quantum network useless? Exactly. Just a few. This problem isn't being discussed much in press conferences, because, of course, it looks bad to admit that your invulnerable satellite is incapable of defending itself from a simple glance. Literally. And meanwhile, the most powerful countries in the world are already launching more and more quantum satellites, hoping nobody looks at them too much. All this sounds like a spy movie, but it's as real as your internet connection. The difference is that this time, the spies don't need to get in, they just need to be there. When quantum supercomputers fall into the wrong hands. Until now, the great consolation was this. Yes, encryption systems can be attacked, but it would require so much processing power that no hacker would find it worthwhile. Ah, such simple times. Because now comes the guest nobody wanted at the privacy party, the quantum computer. No, we're not talking about science fiction. These things already exist. They're real, they're operational. And no, they're not the size of a room. Some fit inside a metal laboratory box. The catch is that they're not good for every task. You won't use them to watch cat videos. But to smash encryption algorithms that until now were untouchable, they're the closest thing to having a digital Thor's hammer. An example. In 2015, Google said its quantum system was 100 million times faster than a traditional computer. What does that mean? That what a normal computer would take 10,000 years to solve, their machine did in a heartbeat. That good? That worrying? Now ask yourself this uncomfortable question. If someone records your encrypted messages today and stores them, what happens when in 10 years they gain access to one of these quantum monsters? Exactly. Goodbye to everything. Your passwords, your files, your bank accounts, all exposed. And not because they intercepted your key, but because they simply shredded the encryption through sheer brute force with a well-trained quantum computer. And no, this is not just theory. Governments like the United States are already pulling their hair out. The National Institute of Standards and Technology is creating new algorithms resistant to quantum attacks because they know what's coming. And what's coming is not pretty. Now imagine those computers falling into the hands of organized crime groups, technological dictatorships, or worse, companies with elastic morals. Modern encryption, the same one we use to protect everything from your cat photos to the medical information of millions of people, would cease to make sense. Because no matter how strong a lock is, if someone comes with a quantum blowtorch, it melts. So yes, the Mozi satellite is impressive. But it's only half the game. The other half is being played in dark laboratories, where every second brings us closer to the day when privacy won't be hacked. It will be evaporated. The mirage of total security and the trap of digital trust. Here we are, in the middle of the 21st century, surrounded by technological promises that sound like utopia. Communication impossible to intercept, unbreakable keys, total privacy. And all thanks to a quantum satellite that is supposed to save us from digital chaos. But did anyone really think it was going to be that easy? Because yes, there are advances. In fact, while you watch this content, companies like NordVPN, multinational banks, and government agencies are already migrating to post-quantum encryption. Why? Because they don't trust it, and they have reasons. A system based solely on quantum physics cannot sustain the entire global infrastructure just like that. It's elegant, yes, but fragile. Remember that technical detail that if someone observes the particles, the system blocks? Well, imagine coordinating that in real time with millions of users. Yes, sounds sustainable. And meanwhile, your encrypted data is already being stored to be broken later. Because what matters is not intercepting you today. It's having your information ready for when it becomes easy to open tomorrow. After all, your secrets don't expire that quickly, do they? Now let's add a little sarcasm to the coffee. The same technology that supposedly guarantees eternal privacy can also be used to monitor who is trying to send messages, when, from where, and how often. You don't need to break the content if you can map the behavior, and that, friends, is a wet dream for any surveillance system. So no, we are not entering the era of bulletproof privacy. We are entering a new phase of the game, where the illusion of security is used to make you lower your guard, where inviolable only means we haven't violated it yet, and where, paradoxically, trusting that your information is protected may be the biggest mistake you make. The quantum satellite is not the problem. The problem is what we decide to do with it. Who controls it? Who can turn it off? Who can use it as a passive weapon? Because as always, technology has no morals, only power. And as a certain pop philosopher would say, with great power come great espionage contracts. Now breathe, process, and draw your own conclusions. Because deep down, the most quantum thing about all this is our trust. It may be there or not, until someone observes it closely. If you want to keep unraveling the secrets of the universe and not be left out of what really matters, subscribe to Mind Blown Space. Here we don't tell you fairy tales. We tell you what they don't want you to know. See you in the next orbit.